If you've been curious about coffee enemas but didn't know where to start, this is the video you're looking for. I'm going to walk you through everything from scratch: what it actually does, what you need, how to brew it, what temperature to use, and how long to hold it, and how often to do it. I'm Scott Wilson. I founded S.A. Wilson's Gold Roast in 1998. We originated the organic coffee specifically used for enemas. So, to be clear, this is my company. Everything I'm about to tell you is what I tell any customer starting out for the first time. A coffee enema is a retention enema, meaning you introduce the coffee, hold it for 15 minutes, and then release it. It's not like a regular enema. The goal is liver detoxification, and here's how it works. The caffeine in the coffee relaxes the smooth muscles in the body. That relaxation allows the liver and the gallbladder to release the bile and the toxins they've been holding. So, straight away, you've emptied the liver and emptied the gallbladder. At the same time, the palmitic acid in the coffee, a naturally occurring fatty acid, gets absorbed and triggers the liver to produce an enzyme called glutathione S transferase. It will produce that enzyme up to 600% more than it normally would while not doing an enema. That's 600% more. So, what you've done is this: you flushed the bile and the toxins out of the liver and gallbladder. You've flooded the blood with a powerful cleansing enzyme. Your body is now ready to filter with the clean liver and pull all those toxins out of the blood. That's the theory behind it. That's why people use coffee rather than just warm water as an enema. What equipment do I need is another question I get asked a lot. In terms of equipment, you don't need much. You need a pot to heat the water, you need your coffee, and you need either an enema bag or an enema bucket. Most people prefer the bucket. It's easier to handle. You just set it on a countertop and or on the toilet seat, and gravity does the work. An enema bag works too, but some people find it a little clumsy to manage. You'll also want a towel to put down on the floor to lie on. Coffee does stain, and sometimes it does get a little bit messy. So be aware of that and really do it in an area where you feel any mess would be easily cleaned up. That's generally all you need. It's a simple setup and it's easy to do. What's the proper recipe? Well, the standard recipe is 3 tablespoons of coffee to 4 cups of water. That's what most people use. If you're just starting out and don't feel like you could use that much or that strong a solution, you can absolutely start with 1 or 2 tablespoons per 4 cups of water. That's perfectly fine. And just work your way up to the 3 tablespoons as you feel comfortable. For the water, spring water is great. Distilled water is probably the safest option, but it's not necessary to go that far. What you want to avoid is straight up tap water from the city, because the chlorine and in some cases fluoride that's in the water, you're going to be absorbing this, and you want the water to be as clean as the coffee you're using. The proper way to brew it? Well, brewing a coffee enema is different from making drinking coffee, and this part really matters. You can't use a drip maker. You can't use a French press or a Bodum. I understand those are easier to use. Those methods briefly expose the coffee to water and then just pull out the flavors and aromas, which is fine for a cup of coffee. But we need more than that. We need to extract the compounds we're looking for: the caffeine, the palmitic acid. Here's how to do it: put 4 cups of water in a pot, add 3 tablespoons of coffee directly into the water, bring it to a boil, and let it boil for 5 minutes. Then reduce the heat and simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. After that, take it off the stove and let it cool to the right temperature before you use it. Please don't rush the cooling. The temperature is important, which brings me to the next part. What is the proper temperature? Well, the coffee needs to be at or just slightly above body temperature. Around 100 degrees Fahrenheit is a good target. A degree up or down on either side is fine. The easiest way to check it, put a little on the inside of your forearm. If you've ever tested a baby's bottle, it's the same idea. It should feel neutral, no warmth, no cold, just nothing. That's the right temperature. If it's too hot, you risk burning. If it's too cold, it'll cause cramping. Neither is what you want. So take the time to get it right. It's not difficult, just don't rush it. A lot of people ask, what position should you be in? When you're ready, lie on your right side. Not your back, not your left side, your right side. That's where the coffee needs to reach the lower part of the colon, and that's where it'll settle and do the job it's supposed to do. Some people say it doesn't matter, but it does. Hold it for 15 minutes. That's the target. If you're new and 15 minutes feels like too much, don't give up. Just split it up. Do two-cup enemas and hold them as long as you can and release. Or even start with just a 2-cup enema and work your way up over a few sessions. Doing some is always better than doing none. Every minute you hold it, something is happening. How often do you need to do them? That is a very difficult question. That depends entirely on what you're trying to accomplish. Once a week is a reasonable maintenance routine for some people. Once a day is also perfectly common and safe for a healthy adult. Just keep an eye on your electrolytes. If you're juicing along with your enema routine, that juice will help replenish those naturally. As for the time of day, morning is almost always the better choice. Most people feel a noticeable energy boost after a coffee enema. Not a jittery caffeine buzz, more of a clean, clear energy. If you do it right before bed, that energy will keep you up. So earlier in the day, before noon if possible, tends to work best for most people. Whether to do it on an empty stomach or not, honestly, I've never found it made any significant difference. That is one worth experimenting with yourself to see which your body prefers. As for who should do them, well, if you're a generally healthy adult with no known bowel issues, there's no reason you can't do this safely at home. We don't recommend coffee enemas for children. And as with anything, if you have any doubt about your own health situation, please check with your doctor first. That's just common sense. This is a cleansing protocol, not a medical treatment, and your doctor should always know what you're doing. A lot of people come in and they say, I'm too nervous or I'm too embarrassed to go ahead and do this. Well, I'll be honest, most people are very nervous the very first time. I've heard that from a lot of people. I did a survey with a group of regular enema coffee users, asking them what they wish somebody had told them before they started doing coffee enemas. This is what they told me. I wish somebody just told me to go ahead and do it. It becomes easier after a session or two, and a lot of people find it gets quite relaxing over time. So go ahead and do it. If you've got questions I didn't cover here, leave them in the comments. I read everyone, and your questions become the next video. Subscribe if you want to follow along, because I'm going to work through every real question people have about coffee enemas, one at a time.